What's up, LA? I'm gonna ask one more time because me and Mike did do a lot of shows and we would never start a show. We'd always have to ask twice. What's up, LA? There it is. I'm still a rapper, still have it in me. First off, I want to thank everyone for coming out, and I want to say in advance, thank you for bearing with me while I talk a fair amount during this set, because this is a very special album to me, and honestly, I didn't think that we would be able to do it live, and I never thought we'd have the opportunity to do it live. And when Mike passed away, we didn't have the opportunity, like so many of my fellow Los Angelinos, we didn't have the opportunity to celebrate and have gatherings with people. Mike never got that send-off. He never had a bunch of people come together and celebrate him. And when Grand Performances came to me and gave me the opportunity to do this, I was immediately reminded of the movie Beat Street, where Mike gets his name. When I met Mike, one of the things that we shared in common was we both loved Beat Street. In fact, I know it's not the first hip-hop movie, but for us, it was the hip-hop movie, and we knew every line by heart, so much so that I started calling him Double K, just because he was Double K. To me, I was Ramo, a Latin dude and a black dude into hip-hop. And so that's who we were. We were best friends. And if you've seen the movie, you'd know that in the end, Ramo dies. And everyone's really sad. They're all sitting around a table. And Double K looks at his friends and he goes, "We can't let Ramo go out like that. We're going to do a performance. And it's going to be the best performance of all time." And I used to joke with Mike, and he would say, "Tess, I'm going to do that for you when you die. I'm going to get on stage and do a big show for you." But the messed up thing is, it's me doing the show. And so this album was how I coped with my grief. It's a monument to someone who deserves this album and so much more. Michael William Turner, Mike's family, his mom. He was a son, he was a brother. She's here. Moms, I love her like I love my own mom, who's here as well. And I know we're gonna get to the music, I promise, but we didn't get a chance to do this when Mike passed. We didn't get a chance to see everyone come together. And so the fact that we can do it and celebrate him like this, it means the world to me. And it's finally giving me a little bit of closure. So this is gonna be a really hard set for me, and I'm gonna introduce every song and tell you a little story behind it, because the album is like a play, and it has an arc. And we're gonna start in the beginning when me and Mike met. And we didn't really know what we wanted to do, but we wanted to be in hip hop, because we loved hip hop and we were best friends. And so the first song captures that spirit of being young and floating free. So we're gonna turn the sound on, but while we do that, I feel like I nailed that intro. It was real dramatic, and we were just. Don't worry, I'll cry later. It's fine. While we're figuring that out, let me introduce the band. So if you're a People on the Stairs fan, every single person that's on this stage played on our albums. Kat played on the end of every single album. So Kat, you know her. Ethan, if you've ever heard OST, him playing bass is the last thing you heard at the end of OST. And Max plays the drums. He played on the album.
Oh man, what's going on?
I swear we were good like 2 hours ago, this thing kicked on. Thank you, I appreciate that. What else? Oh, make sure you, if you're enjoying this and the fact that it's a free show, please remember to keep coming to shows out here, support in whatever way you can. This is a beautiful venue, and they do a lot of great work, and they bring a lot of amazing people out. So make some noise for the staff and for Grand Performances real quick for having us. Thank you.
How's it
He found the
Oh my
problem.
gosh, oh my gosh.
Actually, you know what? Don't start that shit yet. We got any people on Stairs fans that like followed this whole process online with me? I was pretty vocal about it. Okay, hold on, yeah. Check this out, hold up. If you know every single thing, and every time I try and do something for Mike, he does something like this to me. I don't believe in ghosts, but, right? Every time we try to do something for Mike, there's always a slight little hiccup. And he wants to make us as uncomfortable as possible. And the wind is blowing now, and he's like, yes, okay, I think we're good now. This first track, it's Young, Mike, and Chris, Floating Free at Your House. So that it's kind of a long piece, and it kind of doesn't know which way it wants to go, like me and Mike. And it was just such a joyful thing for me to make and think about when we were at your house or at my house. You had that Subaru and the Huey chair. I'm gonna start crying. I'm not gonna look at you anymore. I'm gonna keep crying. And then, something happened for me and Mike because we were hanging out, and then I got my license. And the year was like 90, I want to say 1992, 93. And he'd page me, and I would respond to the page, and he'd be like, hey, Mark loves DJing at Unity. We're going. And we were too young to get in, but Mark always got us in because we wanted to be like Mark Love, man. Make some noise for Mark Love. He's an LA legend. Love you, Mark. And Mike looked up to you. He really did, man. He loved you so much, man. So we would go to the Unity show, and you would play the beat nuts, and it was the best thing ever. And Mike would go, my mom's Jamaican. I love this, and so when I made this track, we're now moving on. We're not kids anymore. We're going to Unity, and this is both a tribute to the beat nuts. It's a tribute to 90s LA clubs that Mark Love was DJing at, and it's a tribute to Monty Alexander and Ernest Ranglin, my favorite guitar player from Jamaica, and Mike's Jamaican heritage and roots. So this song is called 90s Mike and Chris Are on the Porch. For real 90s hip hop heads, you know why I had a sleigh bell in my hand. Can't do a Beatnuts cover without a sleigh bell. It's just the rules, I don't make them. So that was like 92, 93. Now me and Mike are getting a little older. And our friendship's getting super strong. And he introduces me to all his friends. And we're going to parties. And like, my life was changing. His life was changing. And we were like really studying music together. This music, the music we're playing. And then he goes, we should start making beats. I go, yeah, that sounds great. And he goes, I go, who's gonna rap over him? He goes, nobody, I hate rappers. They ruined the beats. So I go, well, we can't do that. We won't have a career. So then I'm like, well, how about we rap over him? And he's like, I'm not a rapper. I'm like, neither am I, but we can do it. So we started doing it. We made an album called The Next Step. And right before we got ready to do that, to solidify our bond as young LA dudes, we were like, you know what we really need to do is drive to the Bay. And so we did. We drove to the Bay. And there was this moment where we were going across the Bay Bridge, and he looked over at me, I looked over at him, and we were like listening to some hip hop, and we're like, this is life right here, this is it. And we got home and we wrote San Francisco Nights, like the next day. Well, that album did pretty good for an underground record. And then we got a knock on the door, and they said, you guys ready to go on tour? That's a big deal for two dummies from LA, you know? And we left on our first world tour, and we were wilding. And so this next track captures the energy of that when we went to Shibuya on our first trip, and we walked into the record store, and there was nothing but disco rap, and we were like, yes. So this track, Mike and Chris leave on their first world tour. talented are my friends? Make some noise for them. I'm making all these jokes because I'd just be up here crying if I didn't. Real talk. So yeah, so me and Mike went on tour, and then we came back. That was like '98. And we came back. A couple years went by, and we were touring. It was just me and him on the road, and the homie Jazz Mac, and we were just going around. And I went to him one day, and I was like, "Hey man, remember that girl I used to date, Ritu? I'm gonna ask her to marry me." And I was concerned about what he was gonna say because I thought he might be like, "Well, that's gonna fuck this group up. We're just starting the tour." And you know what he said to me? He's like, "Well, then we should go to Mexico. We should go to Papa's and Beer then and celebrate." So I don't want this. I'm trying to make this happy because it's sad, but this is happy. And this next song, if you feel like dancing or clapping, like do it because now we're amping right now. So me and Mike get in a car with a couple of homies and we go to Papa's and Beer. And Mike bought a hat at a gas station. You'll see the pictures up there somewhere. And he stood on this thing at Papa's and Beer, and he just drank buckets of beer all night long with me. And I said, man, every time I saw him, I'm like, I love that dude. That's my brother right there. So this song is That Night, and this is Mike at Chris's bachelor party in Rosarito. That was awesome, guys. We were living high, man, me and Mike. It was just me and him against the world, and the years went by, and we got married, and he got married to his beautiful and lovely wife, Etheldra. And love you, Ethel. And you couldn't have told me anything otherwise those years. I had a baby Then I had another baby. He got Archie the dog. And everything was going great. But there was something else that was happening. That hip hop, we were touring all over the world, and we'd be up on stage every night, and it was wearing on us. And we were willing to give our lives for it. You know, that's what you say when you're tough. You're like, I'm fine, I'll get up on stage. But it was causing problems. And we were on and off of airplanes all the time. So this next track is Mike and Chris and Too Many Airplanes. Sorry, I didn't mean to stop you. Take a drink of water. It's getting emotional up in here. We would come home from tour, and I would drop Mike off, and he wouldn't be able to fall asleep because we were always jet lagged, and so he would always put on the same Parliament Funkadelic tape, VHS tape, of Houston '78. And there were many times that I drove away from his house, and that was the last thing that I heard. And that was the last thing that I always envisioned Mike watching. And so when I tried to cope with the sheer randomness of this all and the pain, I found that if I could feel like I was in the room with him one last time, if I could be there when the mothership really came for him, it might make me feel better. And so I tried to write a song that is that. And so this song is titled Midnight, January 29th, the mothership came for Mike.
Wait a minute. I think I see the mothership coming. Lord. I think I hear the mothership coming. Yeah. I think I see the mothership coming. Yeah. I think I see the mothership coming. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I see the mothership
So here we all are today. And Mike's not truly gone because he lives on in People on the Stairs music. He lives on in the fact that you guys would all come out here and celebrate him with us. So make some noise for yourself. Thank you guys. We're going to do one last one. And this is truly a celebration and one of Mike's favorite songs of all time. And so I'd like to get Paul Pete Chop Caruso out here on stage, who was like a little brother to Mike. And funny story about this guitar, he let Mike borrow it, and Mike didn't give it back for a long time. So Mike's probably played that guitar more than Chop has, I think, at this point. But when we got together to make this album, and Ursel, are you around here, Ursel? Help me out on vocals if you can come up in a sec. Yeah, come over here. And whoever else, we got anyone else. Here's the thing, man. It was devastating, it was sad, but Mike would have called us weenies for getting sad about this. What he would have wanted us to do is what we're going to do right here, and that's to celebrate him. And we are going to throw it down one last time. We're going to play his favorite song, and then we're going to get up out of here. So Chop, you let me know when that thing is golden. And this last song, instead of Placebo Syndrome, it's called Survivor Syndrome, AKA, we did it for Mikey. Turner, AKA Double K, and he was my best friend. And he repped LA to the death. We love you. Make some noise for the players, the band, grand performances. My name's Des1, this wonderful radio shop, Cat, Ethan, Max. We're gonna be back there selling some limited vinyl too or something. But thank you guys so much for taking that journey with me. I feel a lot better.